Hi guys, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. So I am gonna do the video of our utilities and what's happening with those. So funny story, not so funny story. Remember I posted that video of our hole on our property getting filled in. So that was fun. Not really, well, kind of. So the guy that did it is a family friend, and he actually does concrete work now. He used to build houses with his dad, and his dad's old now, so now he has his own concrete business. And so we asked him, we were like, you know, if you think you can do it, will you do it? Anyway, so he we're supposed to meet him out there, out of the property, so he can look at this hole. And we're supposed to meet him. He doesn't show up. Like, we're out there waiting, doesn't show up. It's been a half an hour, still hasn't showed up. So finally I call him and I'm like, yo, where are you at? And he was like, oh, something came up and I'm not gonna be able to make it. I was gonna try and call you. So then finally he's like, okay, well, we'll meet next week and I will definitely be there. And I'm like, okay. So we meet him and he shows up and we, I don't know, stood out there for 10 minutes talking about this hole and how he wanted it filled in, and then we left. And then a week went by and didn't hear anything from him. So I texted him and I was like, hey, how much is it gonna cost to do this? And he gives me the price and I'm like, okay, that's not bad, we'll do it. He's like, okay, I can start next week. Well, the next week it rained all friggin' week, so he didn't get to do it. Then the next week he texts me and he's like, hey, I'm going out there tomorrow and I'm gonna fill in that hole. And I was like, cool. So he goes out there, he fills it in, it looks amazing. He texts me the next day and he says, I'm gonna go back out there and I'm gonna put some more on and pack it down some more. I was like, okay, cool, awesome. So he gets done. He says, just letting you know, I'm done. I'm not in a hurry for payment. Whatever, you know. I'm sorry, my nose itches a lot right here. I don't know why. I'm like, okay, all right, we'll get it to you, you know. A week goes by. Neither one of us has said anything to anybody. And he asks if we're home. And I said, no, we're out somewhere. And I was like, we can meet you out at the property at this time and pay you. And he's like, okay. Well, we're out there. And we're out there. It's like an hour now. He's still not there. And so then he's like, hey, something came up. I'm like, oh my God. So the next day he came to our house and we paid him, and I was like, finally, that's over with, right? So then, so we have our hole filled in, which we still need water, power, and sewer. Well, the sewer people I have not called yet. Septic, I should say septic, because we need a septic tank. I had talked to one septic tank company when we first started back in May, and the lady was huge B-word and basically talked to me like I was a child, like calling for my parent or something, because she was just real rude, and I don't know how to explain it, but she was just, anyway. So I passed on them and I called another company that everybody kept telling me to call, and I called them, and you know, that lady was super nice, and she did tell me that they were way behind because it rained all summer, so they were like way behind on work. And I was like, okay, well, I haven't called them back yet because I didn't know how long it was going to take us to get a house. So basically, I need to get them called and get that started. And then the water people, I called them. They sent out a contract. We got it about 2 days later because it's not, since we're out of city limits, it's not city water, it's rural water, and we're the only people living on our road. So when they originally put it in, they didn't run it down our road because nobody lives on that road. So, so anyway, that's why we had to go through them and do all that stuff. And they sent out a contract, and we sent it back immediately with payment. And, you know, he told me on the phone that as soon as they got the contract and the payment, that they would start on it immediately. I'm like, awesome, great. You know, I was like, well, we don't have a house yet, so it don't matter. We're not in a hurry, but cool. Well, then 2 weeks go by, haven't heard from them, and they haven't cashed our check yet. So I was like, all right, what's happening? What is going on? So we talked to my father-in-law about it, and he said that, you know, they meet once a month for like meetings, and that's when they go over proposed, like putting in new people, like new clients and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. Literally the next day after we talked to my father-in-law, they cashed our check. That has now been a month ago. 30 days. They haven't done anything out there on the property. Haven't called us, haven't said, well, I mean, basically they haven't called us and they haven't done anything out there. There's nothing happening out there. Nothing. So I talked to my dad, and he goes, oh, well, they're probably waiting until the crops come out. Okay, that makes sense because there's beans on all 3 sides of our property, and across the street, the road, there is beans over there too. I think there's some corn down a little ways. Anyway, I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. You know, they're gonna have to dig through those people's fields, so they're not gonna take money away from them by tearing up their plants. So, well, beans usually aren't ready until like October. Some people leave their beans in until November. I don't know if we can wait that long. It depends on when they want to put in our foundation, because when they put our foundation in, since it's a permanent foundation, we have to have the sewer and the water ready, because they're gonna have to like leave spots for us to run lines or whatever. I don't know how it works anyway. But we're gonna have to have that ready. So that's what's happening with the water. And so yeah, like it's been a month and haven't done anything, haven't heard anything. So yeah. The power people, I talked to them. Well, I talked to one company, and so like here, I don't know what you guys have, but here we have Ameren. Ameren is like a main power company here. And there might be other places, I don't know. Anyway, so because it's rural, sorry, I just got a text message. I'm so distracted. I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. It's just very flustered. So I called a rural electric company out here. I think it's called Illinois Rural Electric Co-op, I think. I don't know. Anyway, and called them, and they're like, oh, well, if this is a property you're talking about, then there's already a pole out there. It might need a new transformer, which is going to be like $1,200. And I was like, okay, well, that's not bad to get a new transformer, but the pole would be behind our house. And we asked them to have a light installed on our pole, like a security light, you know. and I don't want it behind our house. I wanted it the driveway, off the driveway, so that we had a light over there. Which now that I think about it, I guess we could technically just put a light on like the garage. It'd be fine. We don't necessarily need the security light from the power pole over there. So we could have the security light in the back. I guess it don't matter now. But anyway, I don't think the poles are in good shape. I think they're gonna need to be replaced because they're very, very old, and I think they're gonna need replaced. Which he told me, the electric guy told me that if it didn't already have power poles out there, it would be like $2,600 to get a power pole and a transformer and it installed. But I had to talk to a engineer, is what he called it, because I guess they call their people that come out and look where to hook the electric up at are called engineers. So we have to meet with one of them. I haven't called them yet either because, like I said, I didn't know what was happening with this house. So I gotta call them and get that situated, but oh, and in the meantime, no, I don't know where I was going with that, because nothing's happened in the meantime. I'm just gonna edit that out because that was stupid. Anyway, so that is what is happening with everything out there and utilities wise. Since we're gonna do all electric, we don't have to worry about getting a propane tank, so I don't have to call them and deal with them to get that out there. Which our guy that filled in our hole said that he would bring his Bobcat or whatever he had, front loader. I don't know what he had. Anyway, he'd bring that back out and put some more rock down for our drive, because we do have 2 giant rock piles out there and it'd be fine for a driveway. Anyway, so yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.